Welcome everyone to Tap Your Way to Inner Peace, and it's a real pleasure to be introducing you to Stephenie tonight, she's been a wonderful coach to me personally. Oh, and this session is obviously for information purposes only. It's really not a substitute for working with an individual, with a professional who really understands your circumstances. Without further ado, let's hand over to Stephenie. Welcome, Stephenie.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here, guys. And thank you for letting me share with you today. I'm very passionate about emotional freedom techniques. It's had a huge impact in my life and in many of the lives of people around me and in many of my clients' lives. So, without further ado, we're going to go into just the outline. So today, I want to give you a good understanding of EFT or emotional freedom technique. And to do that, we need to talk about stress, chronic stress, and the stress response, which is that fight, flight, or freeze response. We'll talk about something called the polyvagal theory. And you may or may not have heard of this, but I'll just explain that not in crazy detail, like not too much sciencey involved here, but just to give you an understanding of EFT or emotional freedom technique and how that relates to the nervous system. So there's 3 different standards of EFT. We'll talk about that too, and you're going to experience 2 of them here today. Bronze, silver, and gold. I'll let you know what those are when we get to it. We're going to go through the tapping points. So this is actually based on ancient acupressure. So there are certain points in the head and torso area that we actually touch or we tap on to help to use EFT. We're going to experience EFT. So we're going to do an exercise with EFT. We'll talk about benefits, some of the benefits of EFT, because there's so many, and just why you might consider working with practitioner. Sound good? Thumbs up, everyone? Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Woo. No, I don't know. Shift. Delete. Oh, look at that. Now I have a, oh, I have some technical issues here. So first of all, we'll talk about the stress response. So everyone's probably heard of the fight, flight, or freeze response. That's that nervous system response. It's primitive. It's just this primitive response that happens when we feel like we're not safe. So if we feel like, say, in prehistoric times, if a tiger is chasing us or a saber-toothed tiger is chasing us, we're going to have all responses to that threat. It's like a primal threat to our safety. So we want to freeze, we want to fight the thing to get it away from us, or we basically flee. So we get the heck out of there. What happens when we experience something that feels stressful or like a threat to our safety is that this little almond-shaped thing in the back of our primal brain called the amygdala, it's like this fire alarm, and it sends this message through our nervous system, getting us ready to respond in whatever way we can, whatever way we feel, or react is a better term. So we just react, like I said, fight the thing, flee, so get out of there, or you just freeze. So in today's world, this is great. It's needed, definitely, this stress response. But in today's world, most of our stressors are actually triggered internally. So these are things like if you're caught in a traffic jam, your thoughts, you're irritated, you're late for meetings, you're getting stressed, or you're meeting someone for the first time, or you're speaking to a group of people, and you might get this, the sweaty palms, you might kind of dry up, or you might feel a little shaky. That's all the stress response. And that's the amygdala saying, whatever you're experiencing, you're not safe. And it's a normal response. So that's because we have this primal wiring. And even though we are safe, even though it's not like a threat to our own, like to our lives or our physical safety, like that saber-tooth tiger was, this experience actually triggers the same response in the body. So we're getting the same flood of hormones and adrenaline and stuff into the body, into the bloodstream, and causing us to react and have all those, shaky feelings and stiff muscles, stiff shoulders, very sweaty palms, and that kind of thing. So that is the stress response. Now, chronic stress is a real issue for people. It can create a lot of problems with the adrenals, with the hormones, with just about everything. Stress is, they say, a big number one threat to our health and well-being. And what happens though with stress, with chronic stress, is that you get stuck. Your nervous system, because we have this primitive wiring, you get stuck in like overdrive. So you're there, you're in fight, flight, or freeze response due to the chronic stressors. And this is an issue because in that heightened stress state, you can't think properly or clearly. You may feel very irritable or uneasy, very anxious. You can suffer from aching muscles, tight muscles, and sleeplessness, things like that. That chronic stress, like I said, it burdens the adrenals and can lead to a lot of serious health issues. So it's fantastic that we have something like emotional freedom techniques, or EFT for short, or tapping. You may have heard of tapping. Same thing, that we have something like that to counteract the stress that's happening in our bodies, either chronic or acute stress. Good. So what is EFT? What's emotional freedom technique? Well, emotional freedom technique, like I said, it's otherwise known as EFT for short, or EFT tapping, or just tapping. It's a scientifically based somatic cognitive energy technique. So soma means the body, and cognition, of course, the way you think. It regulates the stress response. So remember that fight, flee, and freeze? It's going to take your nervous system from that crazy state it's in, from that overdrive, and it's going to put you back in the driver's seat so you're calm and cool and collected, right? So that you can think properly and be in that connected state with yourself, with other people, and the what's around you. So really what it does is help to teach our brains how to think differently as well, because it changes our perception of things. So when we change our perception, when we change our beliefs about things, the way we behave changes. So it changes our experience of a stressor, and it changes our behavior when we experience that stressor. Everyone got that? Thumbs up anyway? Yeah. Okay, awesome. So just a little something I want to say is that in terms of changing beliefs, you may have heard, okay, it's going to change negatively held beliefs. We all know we have negative beliefs, negative limiting beliefs, I should say. We all know we have them. But if you're to think of EFT, and when you work with EFT, it's not just a mindset kind of work. Like I said, I mentioned the nervous system, but think of it like this. We know we have these limiting beliefs, but there are beliefs that are hidden from us that we can't see, that we can't identify. So if you were to even, excuse me, close your eyes, or even leave them open and picture in your mind's eye a tree, what do you see on that tree? Anyone? Branches? Yes? Leaves? Yes. Yeah. Maybe you see a bird in the tree. That's nice. But there's something that you can't see, the roots. The roots are those core negative beliefs that you can't identify. So what EFT can help you do, or help do, is to dig down and get to those roots, because those roots are so deep. They hold the whole tree up. Good? You guys got it. I can only see about 3 of you, so. Okay. So, benefits of using EFT. It's super gentle. It's super easy to learn. You're going to learn it here today. It's easy to apply, and it's tested. It's clinically proven. So it's been proven by clinical cases to work, and it provides very rapid results. So almost immediate results to help you out of that stress. Next is the polyvagal theory. So I know it looks like a lot of text here, and it is, but we already talked about the stress response. We talked about the nervous system. And probably you have heard of or learned in school or learned from your reading somewhere about the nervous system. We have the sympathetic nervous system, and then we have another branch, the parasympathetic nervous system. So there's two branches. But with polyvagal theory, there are actually three branches. And this explains our responses under stress. Polyvagal theory was actually, it came about by Dr. Stephen Porges. He is the ultimate expert of polyvagal theory, but I'm just explaining it fairly simple here today to give you an idea about the nervous system and how it relates to EFT. So, poly means many. Vagus refers to the vagus nerve that runs down the back. It's the 10th cranial nerve. It's a very important nerve. It innervates a lot of places throughout the body. So we have the sympathetic nervous system, and that controls our fight and our flight response. So when we want to get the heck out of there, or when we want to stand and fight, that is the sympathetic nervous system. Okay, so that's part of the stress response. Now, that's a sympathetic. Parasympathetic is a bit different here. We have two branches. So that's where the three branches of the nervous system come in. Three branches. One is the dorsal branch. So it runs down the back of our body. And that dorsal branch of the parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for that freeze response. So if you've ever seen like a nature show or something, the best way I could explain that is like a shark in water. You turn it on its back, it's just going to be there. It's not going to do anything. It's not really going to move. It's just sort of frozen, right? It's immobilized, can't move. The other part of this parasympathetic nervous system is the front. So this is the ventral part of the parasympathetic nervous system, excuse me. And that is responsible for our social connection. It's responsible for feeling safe when we're in that ventral part of the parasympathetic nervous system. We're feeling safe, we're feeling grounded, we're feeling connected, we're feeling all of those things. And EFT will help you come back online into that ventral state, out of the freeze response, out of the sympathetic nervous system with the fight and flee response. So if you were to think of the best way I can kind of describe the connection with, we connect with our eyes, we connect with our faces. When we look at someone, we're connected, right? We're gazing at someone in the eyes, whether it's our romantic partner, or if you think of a little baby there, and mom or dad is looking the baby in the eyes, and the baby's smiling, and it's cooing, and it feels safe, and it feels connected, and it feels grounded. And it's just a beautiful experience to see that, right? So that's kind of the parasympathetic ventral response. EFT can bring you online and put you in that state where I'm balancing the nervous system. Yeah, so EFT with those it's a self-soothing type of when you're using it for yourself, it's self-soothing. But actually, when you work with a practitioner, something interesting happens. And that's why it's very important for practitioners to have their stuff together to work with a client, because something beautiful happens there. We do connect with our faces, we connect with our eyes, we connect, of course, in other ways. But when you're working with a practitioner, the practitioner can, it's like a co-regulation. The practitioner can help you get into that ventral state, into that online state. It's a very, it's just a wonderful experience, I have to say, to work with people and to see the shifts in their facial expression when we're working through some of their deep issues. Just shifts in perception, shifts in belief. Beautiful, beautiful experience. So what happens too is that once we're online, it helps keep us online. It helps our body feel safe. It helps our nervous system feel safe. And the more time we spend on using EFT to help get us back into that ventral state, the more we stay there, even though there's something that we found stressful before happens. So does everyone understand that, or am I going off on some kind of tangent? Everyone got it? Yeah, thumbs up.
Can I ask a quick question,
Yes.
Stephenie? I don't know if you might get to this at some point, but I was wondering, if you were doing it alone, could you picture a face that you find friendly? Would that also help kind of bring you into that state?
I think it could. Yeah, I think it could. Um, just the act of doing EFT alone, which we'll get to very soon, just doing that alone without using any words, without really thinking or looking at anything specific, just the act of touching these acupressure points is going to calm the nervous system down anyway. So it's gonna tap 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 tap. You're going to get into that nice ventral state, and it's going to regulate your nervous system. So
Thank you.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
you're welcome. Ah, so this is a little chart here. I just wanted to show you more in terms of the nervous system response here. So we have, excuse me, we have social engagement, which I talked about at the bottom. So that's the ventral vagal. That's our safety. That's our curiosity, our clarity, our groundedness, etc. And then what happens when we're stressed, either chronically or we have an acute stress, is that we either move up through the fight flight and kind of get stuck there. That's like danger, really danger. And then freeze, that's like a real like helplessness feeling. That's like a real, just shut down. That's really like a life and death. So what the EFT will help you do, even just doing it yourself, is going to help you get into the social engagement ventral state where you feel grounded, where you feel secure. And safety is a huge issue for humans. I always find a lot of things come down to our feelings of safety. So let's talk about the 3 standards of EFT. So you're going to experience 2 of these here today. One side, EFT is a great self-help tool. Absolutely. You can do it in minutes. You can get into that ventral state. You can feel safe. You can feel grounded and calm. On the other side, it is very powerful. And it can sometimes bring up some buried information that the person probably should not deal with themselves. So that's when you want to work alongside a practitioner, right? To keep yourself safe. So we have 3 standards. We have the bronze standard. This is simple acupressure tapping. So I told you about those acupressure points. We're going to learn them here in a moment. We're tapping on those acupressure meridian points in the head and the torso area. And this is like an emergency, like I was saying to Stacy, you can bring yourself into that, ventral state just by doing that yourself without saying a thing, without really doing anything or looking at anything in particular. Just using those points, it's going to help you calm down. So imagine you're anxious or nervous about speaking in public. Great, something fantastic to do before you get on stage. It's going to help calm your anxiety and put you in that nice grounded state. Number 2, silver. Silver level is working with scripts. So literally scripts. You can find videos on YouTube. I have videos on YouTube. You can find tapping scripts out there. And that's tapping on the acupressure points while repeating phrases that someone else has created for you. So they're easy to follow, they're readily available, but they're very general. And when you have a specific issue that you want to deal with, when it's chronic, you want to be wary of scripts. They may help you somewhat, but it's not really going to dig down there and get to those deep roots of the tree or the problem. That's the gold standard. So, gold standard is working with a practitioner on a professional level. They can really get to the individual's experience and to all of those feelings, emotions, thoughts, beliefs that are under the surface. So let's learn the tapping points, everyone. I love this part. Yes. Okay. So, first tapping point, hold up your hand. Yes. So, first tapping point is just here. You feel that little part in the wrist bone here, right above there. And between there and the base knuckle of the pinky finger. Excuse me. So basically take 2 fingers and just tap there gently. That's our first point.
Does it matter what hand?
No, it doesn't matter what hand.
Okay.
Believe me, I've been stuck in traffic before, getting a little stressed, and I actually pound my fist on the on the steering wheel. Traffic jam. I'm late. So yeah, just here. That's the first one. That's the side of the hand point. A lot of people used to call it the karate chop point. But first point. Now, second point is going to be, and I'll bring myself close, is right here, right where my eyebrow meets sort of the bridge of my nose, where my little 11s sit. Just here. You don't have to tap very hard, very gentle. You can use both hands. You can use one hand. And if you're off by a little bit, it's not going to matter too much. You're close to the area that you need to be. So this is the eyebrow point. Third point here, trace your eyebrow. You're going to feel this little tiny bone here, this little like gentle, yeah, you want to tap there. That's the outside of the eye point. Okay, so be gentle there. Next point here is going to be under the eye. So it's just right underneath the eye. Good. And again, we have under the nose, just in the divot of the lip. Frenum, I think it's called, something like that. And then under the lip on the chin, just under the lip, just where the chin is. The next point here is going to be the collarbone area. So there are specific points. What I tell everyone to do is imagine where a man's tie would sit, like right here. Okay. And you want to take one hand or 2 hands and just lightly tap here. Good. Next point, under the arm, right where your bra strap sits. Or you could give yourself a big hug, both sides. It's kind of nice. And then the top of the head is the last point. Yeah, good. So let's go around those points. And by the way, if you're doing this yourself for any reason and you can't remember the points and you can't remember the order, that's okay. Remember one of the points and tap on it. You're still going to calm your system down. So if this feels natural, if you remember this point, whatever it is, just keep tapping. So we're going to go to the first point, side of the hand. Eyebrow point. Yes, you got it. Outside of the eye. Under the eye. Under the nose. on the chin, on the collarbone, under the arm, or give yourself a big old hug. Either way, top of the head. Good. I was so nervous up until this point. Now I feel better. Okay, we're actually going to experience this. We're going to try an exercise, and we're going to do the deep breathing exercise. So, what I want everyone to do is just take a moment here and take a deep breath. Take a big deep breath, deep as you can, and let it out. Good. Now, I want you to rate on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 meaning I could not get any air. 10 meaning it's the freest, deepest, most delicious breath I could breathe. It's so deep, I don't need to breathe any deeper. On a scale of 0 to 10, 0 means I can't get any breath. 10 means perfect, uninhibited. My chest is clear. Everything is expanding as much as I want it to be. That's number 10. If you could rate that on a scale of 0 to 10, rather, on where that is. Just take a moment. You might want to write it down or keep it in your mind. Good. Everyone ready? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Nodding. Okay, good. Excellent. I got it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get that a little bit higher, that number a little bit higher. So we're going to start tapping on the side of the hand and just repeat after me. Just repeat out loud after me. So you can repeat my phrases. Even though I can't breathe very deeply right now, or maybe not as deep as I'd like, I love and approve of myself no matter what. Even though my breath is not at a 10, I choose to accept myself and how I feel. Even though I'd like to breathe a little more freely, I choose to accept myself and maybe anyone else involved in this. Let's go up to the eyebrow. Oh, my breath is not as deep as I would like it to be. Outside of the eye. In fact, it's pretty shallow. Under the eye, I'd really like to breathe more deeply. Yeah. Under the nose, my breath is not as full and deep as I'd like it. On the chin, if only I could breathe more deeply. On the collarbone area, if I could breathe so deeply, I would be so happy about that. Nice deep breath under the arm. So deep. Nice free breath. Top of the head. Really want to take a nice deep breath. Oh. Eyebrow. Really free breath. Outside of the eye. Deep and free with my breath. Under the eye, I want to breathe more deeply. Under the nose, I want to breathe to my biggest capacity ever. On the chin, I want to free my breath up. Free and easy. Collarbone area, nice deep breath. Let's go around under the arm. Deep breath. Nice and free and easy. And top of the head, nice deep breath. Good. Shake it off. Take a moment now. And I want you to try something. Take a deep breath Take the biggest breath in that you can and let it go. And see if you can rate that breath on the scale from 0, meaning no breath, to 10, meaning fullest breath ever. Good. When you're finished rating that, let me know by thumbs up if that went up for you. Yeah. So just a few moments of tapping can change things so much. To give you an idea of, bronze level tapping, you can just tap around those points. Like I said, it's going to calm you down. It's going to bring your breathing deeper and fuller. We know that we're more relaxed when we can breathe more deeply and freely. So that's a little exercise I wanted to do with you. So what are the benefits? Benefits of EFT, there's so many that I can't even name. Seriously. And it is clinically proven effective. There's studies out there. Dawson Church has so many studies, and if you don't know who he is, connect with me, and I can send you a link to his website. But it relieves stress, like I said. Any feelings of anxiety, panic, overwhelm, social anxiety can very much help you with that. It can help reduce physical pain in the body. Sometimes physical pain is linked to emotional issues or maybe something that happened in the past that could have been traumatic. It helps relieve tension in your body, discomfort. I've worked with a lot of people who have had chronic pain, a lot of chronic pain, and it helps people manage their chronic pain. So I know I worked with a woman who had her knees replaced. She had arthritis throughout her body. And just after like 5 sessions, she was good to go. She was like, her pain was like a 7 or 8 on a scale of that, 0 is nothing, 10 is like max. And then working together for 5 sessions, she was like, you know what, when I tap, when I do this, my pain is down to like a 1, and that's great. So even if you move like if you've moved up the scale for that breathing exercise, like one point, that you're doing great. That's good. So sports, personal and professional performance. So sports performance, so you play a sport, or it can eliminate fears and phobias. So I have worked with someone who was afraid of flying. I worked with her once. She went on the flight. She did her bronze level tapping. All was good. This stuff works so fast that I barely ever get to see the people that I work with because it works so well. And then they can just take it away and use it. It manages, like I said, chronic pain, and it can actually relieve stress around financial issues, which is one of those things that a lot of people go through. I'm trained to walk people through exercises specifically related to financial issues. And body confidence, body image, yes, it works so well. It helps you not only connect with that ventral, to be in that ventral state when we have when we don't like our bodies, when we have confidence issues, or when we have issues with our eating and such, we kind of disconnect from ourselves, get disconnect from our body, and that can help you reconnect. It can help you alleviate any kind of emotional blocks, negative beliefs that you have about yourself, or about foods, or about your body, or about who you are as a person. And it can really help with childhood issues. I don't go digging around in childhood when I work with people, but if it comes up and people need to work on something from their past, I'm very happy, and it's very safe to do so with me. So, post-traumatic stress disorder. It works very well for post-traumatic stress. In fact, I do an advanced form of EFT that also works wonders with post-traumatic stress, and many more things. Um, in terms of the PTSD and panic attacks and that kind of thing, I, I'll tell you that I worked with a woman who was in her 60s, and I did a little workshop on EFT, and she had attended, and she came up to me afterward and she said, "You know what? Like I get panic attacks when I'm on the highway. I can't drive on the highway. Even when I'm a passenger, I get panic attacks, and it's really bad. And maybe this can help me." So after hmm, 3 sessions with her, I think it was only 3 sessions. After 3 sessions, her panic attacks that had been going on for 40 years due to a trauma in her past, gone. Gone. And our last session, I never heard from her. I followed up, nothing. I followed up a couple months later, and she's like, no, I'm great. Everything is fantastic. I don't have those things anymore. I don't experience panic attacks anymore. So thanks. Power of EFT. Amazing. And I think I'm going to stop screen sharing. Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to actually talk about one thing, dealing with a practitioner. So here's a couple of reasons. You can definitely take this away today and use EFT for yourself. But there are a few reasons why you might consider working with a practitioner, even just for a short time, because there is more to, EFT. It's a science, it's an art, but there's more to just tapping on the points to try to self-soothe. A trained practitioner, like I said, can really get underneath and zero in on that problem, whatever that core negative belief, whatever the roots are. They can help you identify it and help you work through it. Um, when you work with an experienced practitioner, you're going to know that they have been working with people before. They've been down that road, and they know how to deal with unexpected issues. So whatever that might be. Objective. You want to work with someone who's objective, right? Who can see clearly the full picture and help guide you. When someone comes to me for coaching, I don't fix the person. I don't fix their issues. I help guide them. A good practitioner is going to guide you, right? We all have that healing ability ourselves. A good practitioner, a good coach is going to help to guide you in the direction you need to go and help you meet your goals and help you flourish. That's it. You're doing the work yourself, really. Accountability. So a good practitioner or a good coach is going to hold you accountable. And with EFT, I understand that sometimes people have difficulty meeting little goals that we set. And it's okay. If there's some issue and you don't get whatever it is done, you come back and we talk about it and we figure out where that block is so that you can get past it easily. Yeah. So that's kind of all I have for you. I just want to get out of here, guys, so I can stop sharing the screen. There, stop share. So there's about 26 chats here. Okay. Wonderful. Good, good. If anyone has a question, you can pop it in the box. Nope, right or left hand, doesn't matter at all. You can do either hand. Yeah, you can do either hand. Excuse me, if you're tapping on bones, you can even cross sides. I switch hands back and forth when I'm working with people, so it really doesn't matter at all. Okay. Oh, yes, it's very relaxing. Good. Oh, wonderful. I'm so happy. Actually, it's very complementary to other types of therapy. Types of, well, yes, I mean, of course, you can use EFT alongside CBT therapy. Um, I have worked with people in the past. CBT is great. I no issues with it at all. I just have to say that I did work with a woman in the past who had been going to CBT or having like psychotherapy sessions for years,
Mm.
and she had sort of, because she had talked about it so much, it was it wasn't getting to the deeper levels of it. Like it was, I don't even know how to say it. She talked about it so much that it was just like nothing, but there were still things
Mm.
there that the EFT kind of helped her get to. So it is a complement to any kind of therapy. It doesn't take away; it only gives.
Mm.
So whatever else you might be doing, if you're doing CBT, absolutely perfect alongside. And I wouldn't work with anyone who has trauma, and a responsible EFT practitioner should not, unless the person has another support, a
Mm.
counselor, a therapist, right? And same, I am a body confidence coach. I don't work with people with eating disorders unless they have a support team.
Definitely, we have another question about what's the most subtle way to use tapping in social situations.
Ooh, that's a good one. And I have an answer. There are so many subtle ways. No, there's a very subtle way that you can do it. Um, it's finger tapping. So the meridians go through your fingers, all but the ring finger, but we're going to do the ring finger anyway. So one thing you can do is like finger tapping. You can tap on the fingers, or you can take your thumb. I don't know how to show you this, but your thumb here, you want to tap on the nail bed of the index finger. So just tapping like that. That's very easy. That's extremely subtle. You can do that in the table. You can do that and put your hand by your side as you're walking along and just tap on your thumb, right? Or you can actually take your squeeze your fingers, squeeze your fingertips, just squeeze the sides of the fingers, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So you can kind of, people do this too. They play with their hands, they pick with their hands. You can do that too, right? Yeah, that's very subtle. So squeezing or tapping with the thumb work very, very well. So just like that, right on this side of the nail bed. Very easy. Or just squeezing the fingers. I do this sometimes when I go for walks. Not that I'm stressed during a walk, but it gets my creative juices flowing sometimes. Hmm. Yeah. Any other questions? Pick my brain.
So, have you got a script for not feeling good enough that you could maybe share with us?
Oh my goodness. Like a script to take away, or?
Or just something you can talk us through now a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
for sure. Um, okay. So not feeling good enough. And does anyone want to add to that? Are there any feelings, sensations in the body? So panicked, we have frustrated, we have motivation lacking, out of control, we have short of breath,
We have overwhelmed in the comment as well.
overwhelmed. Okay, so we'll use overwhelmed. So one thing I failed to mention, guys, is that you can borrow benefits. In a group like this, when we tap on one thing, if you just tap along, you're going to get benefit from it. Even if you don't identify with, oh, head and tension in shoulders. Okay. Just saw that in the chat, guys. Okay. Shoulders. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Good. So when you tap along with a group of people, It's very useful. You're still getting benefit from it. It's called boron benefits. It's in the EFT textbook. And it does happen. So even if you don't really identify, at least on the surface, with someone's problem or feeling or emotion, or where they're feeling something, if you just keep tapping along, somewhere under there, it's going to connect with you, and you're still going to get the benefit of doing the tapping itself. Good? Okay. So we're going to use all of this stuff. So not good enough too. So I'm going to put that one in. Okay. Okay. Not good enough. All right. So let's just start tapping. We'll see where this goes, guys. Okay. So feet on the floor. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And let it out. Take another deep breath in through the nose. And good. And start tapping on the side of the hand. And if you get lost in the tapping points, just rejoin or just keep tapping on one area. It's okay. Good. And repeat out loud after me. Even though I'm not feeling good enough, I feel like my motivation is lacking. Yeah. And I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed with life being just too busy. Feel out of control and panicked. Even though I feel all of this in my head, in my shoulders, and I feel short of breath, I choose to honor and accept myself no matter what. Good. Even though I just don't feel good enough. Yeah, I feel out of control. I feel frustrated because I have no motivation. I just can't get things done. Yeah, I'm overwhelmed because life is just too busy. Yeah, and I feel all this in my body. I feel it in my head. Feel it in my collarbone area. Yeah, short of breath. Feel this tension in my shoulders. Even though I have all these things going on, I choose to accept myself and how I feel. Good. Even though I don't feel good enough. And I feel frustrated, out of control, and overwhelmed. I choose to love, honor, and accept myself and maybe anyone else involved in this. Let's go up to the eyebrow area. I just don't feel good enough. Yeah, outside of the eye. I don't know where I learned that. Under the eye, I know my motivation is lacking. Yeah, and I feel so frustrated by that. All this in my head. Ooh, these feelings, all this frustration, all this tension. Feeling out of control, anxious, panicked. It's not a good feeling. Short of breath. All this tension in my head and my shoulders. Life is just too busy. Yeah. I just feel like I have no motivation. It's frustrating. Yeah. Feeling panicked. Out of control. fight or flight, all the overwhelm of life. There's just too much to do. There's just too much to do. Yeah. All this stuff that I need to do. So overwhelming. And maybe that stuff will be there anyway if I feel calmer. Maybe I can deal with it a little bit better. Maybe if I feel calmer and more connected, I can really see that, yeah, I have some great things about me. You know what? Maybe I am good enough. And so what if I'm lacking motivation? Yeah. Life ebbs and flows. Energy ebbs and flows. So maybe whether I'm frustrated or not, things will change. So maybe I can let go of some of that frustration. I'll just try it. Let go of a little bit of it. Oh, that panic. That's a toughie. Yeah, I feel out of control and panicked. Oh, but whether I'm panicked or not, there's problems at work. I think it was work. They're going to be there anyway. So maybe I can let some of this panic go. Yeah. Maybe I can calm down a little bit, just a tiny bit, so that I can focus more. Yeah, and find a solution. That's called self-care. All this overwhelm because there's just too much to do. I'm so busy in life. Maybe I can let go of some of that tension in my shoulders. Maybe I can relax my shoulders and just let it drip out of my shoulders. All that tension. Yeah. And life is busy. And when I have too many balls to juggle and it gets too busy, I'm not up there with those balls. I'm over here feeling panicked. So maybe if I can just drop one of those things, yeah, maybe I can focus a little bit more, feel a little less panicked, finding more clarity. And I'm going to release the emotional attachment that I have to all of these stories that I tell myself. The story that I tell myself that I'm not good enough. I'm going to release the emotional attachment to the story that my motivation is lacking. I just don't have it. I'm going to release my emotional attachment to that story that I feel out of control at work. Maybe I can release that emotional attachment I have to feeling like life is just so busy, I can never keep up. Releasing that emotional attachment. Releasing the frustration, the overwhelm, the tension, and restoring right energy balance and flow to my head, to my chest, my breathing, and to my shoulders, restoring that right energy and balance. Yeah, releasing all of this from my mind, my body, and from my soul. And so it is.
There's so much potential. Thank you so much, Stephenie. This has been so
It's my
good.
pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm thrilled to talk about this. I think everyone should know about EFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
All
think
right.
it's been
Thank
huge,
you.
quite a lot of people here as well. So
Yeah.
it's lovely to be introducing it to new people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good.
Well,
Thank you so much.
thank you everyone for coming.
Yeah, I just also wanted to say thank you, Stephenie. That was my first time trying some EFT, and I really, really enjoyed that. So thank you.
So glad. Thank you. Thank you for having me come on and for the ability to do this workshop with you guys. Thank you for hosting. Yeah, it's a pleasure.